Hello again, everyone. Michael here with Felicity, November 8033 Fox, a Cessna flight training device that I built right here at home. It is the 25th of February, 2023. Hope everyone has had a good Saturday thus far. Hey Drippy, hello, welcome. Sparky Pilot, pleasure, welcome. And WestJet, hello, happy to see you, my friend. Today we did our second real world towered solo. We did our first one a long time ago and we never actually got finished, so we did our first one at Mansfield, and winds were crazy for all intents and purposes for my first solo in a while. Jeffrey B, thank you so much for that subscription. Appreciate it so much. 6 months. Wow, thank you. That's awesome. I greatly appreciate that. Actually, we were just talking about you last night when we were up flying around the Hudson SFRA, talking about your landmark. So I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. Winds were variable between like 280 and 320 at 9, gusting 16. My first one was a little bit sketchy, I'll be honest, but by my third one, which was my last one, I actually think I had it down. Anyway, I had a little bit of time this evening. I want to actually use our GNS 430 and put it to use on a local IFR route heading to the same place we were actually flew into earlier today. Twofold, I want to get to know the GNS 430 and how to actually program it, use it, and I want to do this before I go for the Boston Virtual Wings IFR 15 rating, which requires the use of RNAV equipment. So that's our plan. I went ahead and looked up a basic route based on where we are and where we want to go, using our low IFR and route chart based on my departure airport of Morrow County. Nauzoo is going to be our first fix, followed by Bugs, and then we're just going to proceed north from there up to Mansfield. The only thing I haven't determined yet is what approach I want to use, and if the winds haven't changed at all, I'm going to still expect runway 32. And that was another thing that was interesting, that they flipped the airport on me when I was in the middle of my solo there. So my first departure was off of runway 23. We had a pretty nasty crosswind, and they flipped the airport off of my first one. So my first crosswind, actually, let me just look at this real quick. We'll look at this together. So, alright, we took off of runway 23 here, and we made our, okay, so we did do a full one, runway 23. So after our first one, we were told to make a downwind for runway 32, which coincidentally worked out in our favor because our left crosswind inadvertently transitioned us into our downwind for runway 32, to which the winds were much more favorable. And then on the last one was advised to extend my downwind for landing traffic. Mansfield is a delta. It's also a hub for the Civil Air Patrol. Also a hub for United States Air Force. So there's a lot of traffic that comes in and out of there. Okay, so that's kind of our plan in our route. Let's talk about the approach we have available to us, preferably an RNAV. Actually, let's take a look at the weather before we discuss our approach. Okay, winds are 330, so same kind of direction, but they have calmed down considerably. Sky is clear, visibility is 10. Temperature, dew point -2. Altimeter 3012. So New craft, again, this is our regulatory pre-flight requirement type stuff. We're going to Mansfield, so we do need to discuss these things. NOTAMs, navigational tactical air navigation aid is out of service. That shouldn't affect us. Okay, VOR. See, ADF required except for aircraft equipped with suitable RNAV system with GPS. Okay, which we have. So that one doesn't affect us. And a lot of these older ones, they're not going to affect us either. There just seems to be duplicates. Military NOTAM isn't going to affect us currently either. So we discussed our NOTAMs, we discussed our weather. I highly doubt we're going to have ATC coverage in the Cleveland ARTCC Cleveland Center this evening. We might. When I checked earlier, it was quiet. So we will be IFR on Unicom essentially. So runway 32 is going to be our arrival runway because winds were, what were they, 330? Yeah. So we're going to favor runway 32. And okay, we do have an RNAV approach for runway 32. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. We were to look at this approach chart, which these are still kind of new to me, but if I take what I know about a VOR or an ILS approach chart, I think I kind of understanding that we have different fixes based upon our direction of arrival. If we look at this slice of cheese here, sounds kind of good right now. It looks like if you're coming in from a heading of 143 or 053, your initial fix is going to be Husky. And if you're arriving at 053 to a 233 radial, your initial fix is going to be Percy, and then so on and so forth. So based on what I know about the area, I can almost guarantee I'm going to be arriving in this half circle here, this quadrant. Yes, cheese, absolutely. Okay, so let's just verify that. Let me send this right over to my map here, just to kind of confirm here. And actually what I want to do is go ahead and put this approach in to my flight plan. So go to procedure, approach, and we are selecting RNAV GPS runway 32, and we decided that our initial approach fix was going to be Percy. Did we decide that already? Yes, I can almost guarantee it. Absolutely, it's going to be Percy. That's going to be our initial approach fix. So let's add that to our route. Okay, what do we see here? We see this blue circle thing. That is a hold. However, hold / procedure turn, if I want to be more specific. If we look here, see this no PT? Stands for no procedure turn. So if we're arriving at Percy on this heading, we don't need to do this procedure turn. And I'm saying that to you, and I'm saying that to myself to remind myself to remove that from the approach if the GNS program's set in there. I don't know if it will. This will be a brand new learning experience for me. I've never selected an approach in the GNS. I've never activated one in our simulator. I have used the trainer a couple times on the desktop, so I know how to navigate through it. So this will be kind of fun. Let's go ahead and pack for this trip. I do want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out this evening. Okay. Naozu, Bugs, and then Percy. and then MFD. So that's going to be our route that we need to file on the VATSIM network. We had this profile in here. Bear with me just a second. Let's see. 150, 16 gallons per hour. That should be good enough to give me at least a basic performance profile. Okay. Our stationary holds 88 gallons of usable fuel. We can hold 44 gallons in each wing. We certainly don't need that much for this trip. However, let's go ahead and determine how much we are going to need. With our fixes, looks like the route itself 51 nautical miles. Let's just say 60 nautical miles, just to make math sort of easy. So if we have, let's see, 60 nautical miles, we can say that's, well, let's just say if we burn 15 gallons of fuel per hour, and if we cruise at 120 knots per hour, okay, cruise at 120 knots per hour at 15 gallons per hour, that's 15 gallons of fuel to cruise at 1 hour. So 60 nautical miles is half of 120, which would be get in an hour. So technically, it would take 7.5 gallons of fuel to make that flight. But we are a daytime IFR, and I learned this today. Whereas if we're VFR, we need enough fuel to get to our destination plus 30 minutes. That night we need to get that, get to our destination plus an additional 45 minutes of flight time. If you're at IFR, whether it's day or night, you need to get enough fuel to get to your destination plus 45 minutes. So let's take that into account. And me, I like to, kind of give myself a little cushion. So let's just take that 45 minutes and make it another hour. Right off the bat. So I need another 15 gallons right off the bat. Which gives me a total of 22.5 gallons. I stand corrected. I think I need to factor 45 minutes, day or night, after a potential alternate, not just the destination. So I think we need to include enough fuel to get to our alternate, plus another 45 minutes. So if we can't get into Mansfield, for whatever reason that may be today, what other alternates do we have available? We're not going all the way up to Cleveland. Shelby is a good alternate for us. We are small enough to get into Shelby community, which is not far off of the Mansfield VOR. So if we wanted to, we could extrapolate that. Getting to Shelby off of the Mansfield VOR. I don't think there's any sort of approach there at Shelby. So if that's the case, this one may not work. Let's see. Well, we got the VOR alpha approach. So a sort of an IFR approach, which kind of transitions to a visual. Do weather conditions require an alternate? My logic tells me yes, especially if it is IFR, but I don't know the real answer to that. 3, 2, 1 rule. I am listening. I might have to Google that. 3, 2, 1 rule. Let's do that real quick. Let's see if we can pick that up. Oops, that's not what I want. I want internet. Bold Methods. It's one of the cleverest of clever websites that I know. Three-mile visibility with 2,000-foot ceilings within a half hour of your landing. Okay. If the weather forecast is outside of those, no alternate is required. Okay. So it would be less than 3-mile visibility with less than 2,000-foot ceilings, to which an alternate would be required. Okay, good to know. 3 miles, 2,000 feet, 1 hour of landing. Miles, feet, and then it's 1 hour landing. In other words, the forecast is 5 miles of visibility and overcast is 4,000. You need not plan for an alternate. Okay. Good to know. Okay, I think we're just about ready. What else do we need to discuss about Mansfield real quick? So alternates may no longer be a factor, just due to the current actually VMC conditions. Fuel, which we already discussed. And then takeoff and landing performance. And let me tell you, we got plenty of runway on either of them. But just to discuss that real quick, 05 and 23 is 6,800 feet, and 14 and 32 is 9,000 feet. And like I said, I experienced both of those today, and when you're on the 3-2 departure side, you're kind of looking uphill, and then once you get about the middle of the runway, you start to go downhill towards 1-4. It's really kind of a unique sloping runway there, and it's kind of interesting because there's, and I don't see those at my home airport, but there's elevation signs at certain intervals of the runway. It's kind of interesting. Okay, I don't think we really need to discuss anything else. We've got our route planned. We've got our approach selected based on the winds. Alright, so we'll go to the aircraft, get it started up, and then we'll go ahead and connect to VATSIM, file a IFR flight plan on the network, and we'll see if we have any overlying coverage. If not, we will depart on Unicom using instrument rules. So that's our plan. I will see you over there at the aircraft in just a moment. All right. Hello again, everyone. Welcome aboard, Felicity. Real quick, let's go ahead and do our weight and balance. We are utilizing our Miranda Cessna 206 today. A very, very stripped down version, per se. Weight and balance, you and I are going to weigh the same, like we always do. And we decided on wet for fuel. So we need at least 22.5 gallons. Let's just go ahead and put 22 gallons in each wing. That's going to give us plenty. We'll just make it at 21 gallons. Okay. You and I, and some gear. Save that. And tie downs. I gotta figure out a way for it not to keep putting these tie downs every time. You know, I take them off, I expect it to just stay off. Alright, tie downs. Okay, I think we're good. And we'll connect to VATSIM. Okay. Alright. Original ground speed, yes, we did do a couple patterns from the right side. It did not go as smoothly as I kind of hoped it would. It's a whole different perspective. But yes, we did try it. I don't know how long Twitch keeps the VOD, but somewhere down there, there's a video of when I took the panel apart to replace the yoke on the right side. So after we got that installed, we did some pattern work.
I don't think it was very long ago. It might still be there. Sugar Dunkerton, welcome. A long time, my friend. Hope all is well. Win Tank, hello, good evening. Welcome. Hey, what's it? You're always welcome to keep an eye on VATSPy. That's not an issue. In fact, let me go ahead and pull up this screenshot. This is great. So, was it? Let's see, Friday night. So yeah, last night, we had an opportunity to fly into JFK amongst the FNO. Um, like I said, I arranged this previously, but I kind of held up traffic a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there I am in my little old plane. It's probably the best screenshots that one of the hangar members sent me. So, and I do have a Discord hangar, so feel free to stop by and check it out. The link shows up throughout the thing, or there should be I want to say there's a command I can put into. Alright, so let's get back here. Let's see if this works. I don't know if it does or not. Oh, maybe it does. Okay. Let's get make sure that we do have the appropriate checklist for the plane that we're gonna fly. And now we do. Okay. We did weight and balance and fuel. Let's just do a real quick walk around. No oil leaks, tires are good. Flight controls, all that seems to be working. Let's get our lights on. Alright, so we got a strobe and green on the right. Taxi and landing light. Strobe and red on the left. Real quick, fuel caps are installed in a streamlined position. Okay. Pitot tube is warm to the touch. Let's get all of these loads off now. Okay, and finish our quick walk around real quick. Alright, IM joints look good, all of our pins are intact. And for argument's sake, so is everything on the left. That all looks good. Our prop blades look good, our exhaust is secure. Alright, let's have a seat. Okay. Exterior walk around is good. We're in a short flight today, so just please go ahead and keep your seatbelt fastened if you don't mind. Circuit breakers are all in, and alternate static is in. We're going to move right along to our start checklist, seat track. Let's go ahead and get scooted up here. Okay, that feels good. Avionics are off. Autopilot is off. Cow flaps are open. Mixture is going to go rich. Prop is high. Throttle's closed. Brakes on. Okay. Clear prop. Looks clear on the left. Clear on the right. Clear up front. Right. Master's going on. Beacon is on. Okay, fuel pump. Throttle. Fuel pump off. And mags are going to start. Clear. Okay, oil pressure's good. Oil temperature's coming up. Suction is good. Fuel flow's good. Cylinder head temperature's coming up. Alright. Okay. Start checklist. What else we got here? Let's get our landing light on for safety. Seat belts. Alright. Seat belts on. What's next? Flaps are up. Let's get our avionics on. Alright. I still haven't found out what that is yet. It sounds like my cow flaps, but they don't seem to be moving when the noise happens, so I don't know. Okay, where were we at? Avionics are on. Let's go ahead and set our altimeter to known field elevation. 1,086 feet. I am not going to be able to grab the local, not local, but the closest METAR station is about 10 miles west direct, but I'm not going to be able to get that here on the ground. I used to be able to in X-Plane 11, but X-Plane 12 got smart and realized that, you know, that sort of communication, VHF radio requires line of sight. So they seem to somehow fix that to where you can only get it in the air from within a certain range. Okay. What else we got here? Let's go ahead and take a look at Marion's weather. Simply because here I am at my home field in Mount Gilead, Marion, and winds generally here come out from the west. Our weather trends generally come from the west. So if it's coming from the west, I generally use Marion's weather. And if it's coming from the east, I'll use Mansfield, which is where we're going. But I just want to see what Marion has to say currently. Winds are 330 at 4. Okay, so not much different than Mansfield. Although they have a broken layer at 3600, visibility 8. Okay. Alright. Well, I guess not so much. I'm not too familiar with digital ATIS enough yet. But I believe still with analog ATIS using VHF radio, I do know that VHF radio does require line of sight. Maybe not with your eyeball per se, but at least a clear line for communication. Jeffrey, again, thank you so much for that 6-month subscription. I greatly appreciate it. You take care, my friend, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for coming in, and definitely thanks so much for informing me, man. 3-2-1 rule. That's really good to know. So thank you, appreciate it. All right. Transponder. Let's get that on. Okay. Radio we'll test when we connect to VATSIM maybe. Taxi light. Let's go ahead and get that on. ADSB is tied into our nav lights. Let's get that on. Okay, and And heading indicator, turn coordinator. That looks good there. Alright. We'll go ahead and taxi to our active, which is going to be runway 28, and we'll go ahead and do a run up there. Parking brake off. Yeah, but shit, I'm gonna do that once I get down there to the run-up area. I'm gonna do that and follow my flight plan, because trust me, there's nobody around here. I still want to give it a little bit for oil temperature to warm up anyway. But there's my flight school. Right there, just off to our left. And just off to our right, way back there, is Fisher AG Service. He does a lot of crop dusting. Alright, we're using the, Percy as our initial approach fix. So we're 4 India Niner, first waypoint, now Zoo, November Oscar Whiskey Zulu uniform. The second waypoint is Bugs, Bravo Uniform Golf Zulu Zulu. Our initial fix is Percy, Papa India Romeo Charlie India. For the runway 32 RNAV approach into Mansfield, Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta. You're very welcome, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you. Iron Condor Simulations. Welcome, sir. How are you? Hope you're well. Alright, I'm just going to kind of stick pointed right here, so I can kind of keep an eye on final. Okay, let's go ahead and file our VATSIM flight plan first. Okay, we're November 8033 Foxtrot. Good, excellent. I'm glad to hear you're doing well. Type Cessna 206 today. We're lightweight category. We do have slant golf on board. We're GPS equipped. Departure is for India Niner. Kilo Mike Foxtrot Delta is our arrival. It is, what is it? 2000, 19, 0100 Zulu currently, so we'll just say 0110 by the time I get things programmed in. Altitude, it's a short route. Let's just say 3,000. Else we'd have to go up to 5. Let's keep it at 3. Airspeed, I'm just going to say 120. En route time, we'll just say 40 minutes, roughly. And fuel endurance, we had 42 gallons on board, So we have a little over 3 hours. 42 gallons, 15, 30, a little under 3 hours. We'll just say 2 hours and 45 minutes. Route details. This is where I probably ought to write it down on paper so I don't have to keep switching back and forth here. Route details. Now zoo. Bugs. Percy, and then MFD. Okay. So we have now zoo. NOWZU, okay. Bugs. Percy. Remarks. I'm just gonna put the channel in here. Alright, I think that's good. Let's confirm everything looks good. Call sign is correct. Flight rules is correct. Aircraft type is correct. Equipment is correct. Departure, arrival is both good. Off block, altitude. Everything looks good there. We've got our route plan. Let's compile that. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and get these things programmed in here. Flight plan. And then we're gonna go now zoo. Okay. Bugs. Double Z. B-U-G-Z-Z. And I'm just gonna put Mansfield in here. Kilo. Mike. Foxtrot. Delta. Flight plan. Message. Okay, it switches over to GPS mode. Message set course to 087. Okay. Course is set. Our message disappeared, so that tells us that we got the course correctly. Now, if I hit this procedure button, select approach, I can select RNAV, runway GPS. Okay. Percy. Load that. Now, what does my flight plan say? Oh. Percy, hold, Acapulco. Okay. How do I delete this hold? I don't want that in there. Chat, does anybody know how to delete something out of a GNS flight plan that I didn't put in there? Let me see if I can, clear? Remove waypoint. No, I don't want to do that. Clear? No. It says to remove waypoint Percy, and I don't want to do that. I want to remove the hold. Let's see. No, I don't want to remove the whole approach. So when I'm highlighted to Percy and I hit clear, it asks if I want to remove Percy. When I'm highlighted on the hold and hit clear, it asks if I want to hit Percy. Then when I'm highlighted on the next fix at Acopo, and hit clear, it asks if I want to delete Acopo. It's not asking me if I want to delete. Let's see. Delete approach, delete. Don't want to do any of that. I want to delete that hold. Okay, so I guess it won't let me delete the hold, and I'm just going to have to activate that next leg if I'm on autopilot, I guess. Okay, I don't know if that's a bug. I'm going to have to check the trainer, check this against the trainer to see if it's a bug or what. You know, if it's in there as a waypoint, I would imagine there's a way to remove it. Okay. So we're going to take 28, we're going to make a straight out departure. Then we got some VFR. I want to fly over my house, and then we'll go ahead and pick up our fix up now. Zoo. Memphis, Atlanta, Boston. Okay. We are not going to benefit from any of the VATSIM services currently. Let's go ahead and make sure we're on Unicom. Alright. And let's get guard, monitor that.
Traffic, Tower 461 Bravo Golf in the downwind for runway 18.
Morrow County traffic, Cessna 8033 Foxtrot, is taking runway 28 straight out departure of Morrow County. Okay, 28 final looks clear. Strobe's going on. Here we go, full power. Rudder for center. Airspeed's coming alive. Let's rotate. Positive rate. Let's climb out at 80. Okay, then I'm going to have to report that as a bug, because that's exactly what we did, and it was not allowing us to remove that hold from our flight plan. Alright, we're about 900 AGL off of the 28 departure threshold. We can go ahead and make a turn on course. Alright, there's my village. Make a turn here. Okay, there's the factory. The old factory that's not there anymore. Let's get our compliments closed while we're in cruise. Okay, alright, there's County Road 30. So, I live right over that way. I haven't quite gotten around to modeling, actually doing a model of my house yet, but it's down there. Alright, let's head to Naozu. One 103 is our heading. And let's get up to 3,000 feet. And let's play with our autopilot. So let me go ahead and turn this autopilot on and set our altitude to 3,000. See if it'll take us there. Okay, and then what else can we do with our autopilot? We can tell it to fly via the navigational mode. not a bad idea there, WestJet. Alright. Is it gonna stop at 3,000 or is it gonna keep climbing? Alright, so I figured that out. So I need to arm it when I hit the altitude and vertical speed. If I hit arm, then it seems like it stops at our desired altitude of 3,000 feet. Hey, this is 125.3. Let's see if we can grab that.
Mansfield Line Regional Information X-ray 1850 Zulu. Wind light as variable. Visibility more than 10 miles. Sky conditions scattered at 2,400. Temperature 3. Dew point -10. Altimeter 3008. Arriving runway 32. Departing runway 32. Advise on initial contact. You have information X-ray.
X-ray. Not that that's relevant to us. That's just what X-Plane is providing us the information is. Okay, so let's take a look at this flight plan again. Okay, clear. Yeah, it's not allowing us to delete that hold. So once I'm at Percy, I'm gonna have to, I guess once I get close to Percy, I'll go ahead and activate the next leg. Because it says no procedure turns in our chart. Let's look at our chart again. So from our direction of heading, no procedure turn. So I think ATC might actually yell at us if we were to do that procedure turn. WestJet, you have a weather add-on for X-Plane 12? Direct 092 now. Alright, so we're at bugs. Oh no. We just made it to Now Zoo. We're going to bugs. Iron Condor, that is a negative. All three displays, our front window and our side windows are on one computer, as well as our GNS 430. Everything else is on a different computer, our gauges and our G5 equipment, and our angle of attack gauge. But there's actually 3 PCs that make it all kind of run in unison. The third PC handles a lot of background operations as well as the streaming software. do want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out today. If you just recently joined us and missed the first half, I had my second rear-wheel towered solo today at Mansfield, where we're going. The winds were a lot heavier, a lot gustier than they are currently. But it was fun. My hands were sweating the entire time. But by my third landing, I was doing alright. Fluffy Fluffy, hello. Long time, my friend. I hope you're well. Welcome. Alright. I keep occasionally checking for any overlying coverage. Wintech, appreciate that. Yep, it was definitely a fun experience. It is on our YouTube channel, actually. It's the most recent video uploaded. I do apologize because our GoPro GA intercom adapter wasn't fully seated, so unfortunately none of the ATC or my audio came through. Really, all I could hear was the freaking engine. Man, I was so frustrated when I got home and went to review those. I was like, oh no, they can't hear anything. But I went ahead and posted it anyway. So it is on the YouTube channel. Tell you what, I want to go ahead and switch over to our opposite fuel tank now. So I'm going to turn this fuel pump on. Switch over and turn the fuel pump on. We were just talking about my real world solo today, Duffy Fluffy. It's on our YouTube channel. But it was definitely windy. But it was fun. And although it was unique because I did one in the pattern on runway 23, and at that point, let's see, left to 357 now. So my first one in the pattern was runway 23, and the winds were 3-1 at 9 gusting 19 or 9 gusting 16 or so. I do have my student certificate, yes. Today was one of the requirements for airman certification standards, 3 in a tower, 3 solo in a tower, which I've done previously, but had since expired as I'd never completed it the first time. Right, so where's just taking me to? MFD. Was I supposed to do some? Let's see. Menu. Zero 6-1. Iron Condor, curious is my instructor to tell me how to handle an engine out while in the pattern. We have done some simulated, well I don't say simulated power off 180s. So I've done some power off 180s in the pattern. We've discussed what to do, engine failure, if it is straight out. I know that if I'm taking runway 23, my options are a lot greater than if I'm taking runway 10. So I must have done something wrong because it was taking me to Mansfield, and my approach was below that. So maybe I had to put Mansfield in after the approach, but then how would it know what approach to select? If I didn't have Mansfield in there. So I'm gonna have to try and figure out, I guess. Because after my fix at bugs, it took me straight north. It was taking me to Mansfield. Because it was actually next in my waypoint list. So was I supposed to move that somehow? Is it hot where I live now, Duffy Fluffy? No, right now, it's about 5 degrees Celsius, about 45 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, so Percy is at or above 3,000 feet, which is what we're at now. And then Okopo, which is going to be our, I want to say it's our final approach fix. It's going to be at or above 2,700. But I'm hoping that the GPS will actually fly the approach. At least that's my understanding of how that's supposed to work. So we'll see. I do want to thank everyone again for coming in and hanging out. It's always a pleasure flying with you. Alright, so it looks like we're about 1.5 miles from Percy, which is our initial fix from our approach heading. Mansfield traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, about 10 miles out on the RNAV 3 to approach Mansfield. Course to 325. Okay, something showed up, LPV, that must be our low something. I know it stands for something. What I did when I was close to Percy there, just before the hold, is I went ahead and activated the next leg. I don't know if that was a proper way to do that, but that seemed to, at least for now, have bypassed the hold. Alright, so I just switched this over from navigation mode to approach mode. So I imagine that once it grabs the horizontal, I would hope it's going to start taking us down to the runway. We're on the lateral currently. Right, 4.1 miles. This is the actual first time I'm using the autopilot and the GPS in the 206. Really the first approach I'm flying with the GPS at all in any of the aircraft I've flown in X-plane ever. I've always kind of done slant alpha type stuff. The times are changing apparently. Victor Airways are kind of going away a little bit. The VORs are getting removed. 33 Fox is getting old. Okay. Alright, so it looks like our vertical is starting to come in just a bit. I do see the runway way out there. Okay, so this is State Route 30. Alright. It's really cool to have flown this earlier today in real life and then fly it in the simulator and be like, yep, I saw that. Alright, what's going on here? Okay, what are we doing? We're descending. Okay. We do not have autothrottle, so we need to manage our speed on our descent, but it does look like... Alright, it does look like she's taking us down. So we do need to manage this on our own now. Uh, 324. 3, 2, 4. Alright, there's our outer marker. Nope, no auto throttle Vintech. I'm surprised it's an autopilot. Alright, so she is descending us at about 400 feet per minute, it looks like. Yeah. The price of one of these things, yeah, I'd probably have to agree. Scenery-wise, basic ortho photos done with Ortho 4XP. Sim Heaven sitting on top of that. And pretty much all default X-Plane 12 airports, except some of the Ohio ones that I did. Main spot traffic, November 8, 033 Foxtrot is on final approach, RNAV 32. Direct 324, 9 seconds. Let's see, 324, 324. Okay, going a little bit fast. Let's slow this up a little bit. Let's go ahead and put 10 degrees of flaps in. We're in the white arc. Now, I'm sure at some point in time I have to take over. I highly doubt she's going to get us all the way down there to the runway. So the question is, at what point in time is that going to be? Okay, I lied. She took us all the way down. I hardly had to put any input on anything. Oh, get control. Yeah, that's one thing that's still kind of weird is the ground handling at this 206 at high speed. It's almost like there's too much, hold on. Yeah, it's almost like there's too much nose wheel action with the rudder. Yeah, I don't know if there was an auto landing or not, but she seemed to have taken us all the way down. But wow, this ground handling, and it always seems to be on a final rollout. I think an adjustment needs made or something with the nose wheel steering at high speed. Alright, what is this? Okay. Alright, so what this tells me now. Alright. I'm gonna have to come in and do this airport because what this tells me, so I am on a current taxiway. I'm an Echo right now, and we are just gonna hop out of the aircraft for just a moment and take a look around. So what we see here, let's just go over here. What we see here is a nice paved X-plane taxiway right there, which does not appear to be in our current taxi diagram. And if we go over this way, where we turned off at, where I thought was a taxiway based on our chart, is we simply see our lovely orthophoto image. Okay, so mental note, Michael, Mansfield's on your next list. Okay, well, we are going to use it because it is an active, it's a valid taxiway. The only problem is we're sitting on raw mesh, so we got bumps. Alright. Well, I think that was a mostly successful first attempt at our GPS unit. Gonna have to look into that hold issue. I don't know if that's an X-plane bug or not. And I don't know why, like I said, I put Mansfield in, and then I programmed my approach in. But it was taking us to Mansfield first instead of flying the approach like it should have done. So I don't know if that was something I did wrong or if that's another bug. Okay. Mansfield traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, crossing runway 23 Mansfield. Landed at the exact same time, that's cool. and the landing wasn't bad. It was that ground roll afterward, and like it's almost ridiculous the amount of that's like that's just a little bit of rudder, and it's like you spin me right round, baby, right round like a record, baby, right round, round, round. That's just a little bit of rudder. Like that's ridiculous. It's gotta be a way to listen to that, and I've made um, profiles. And I've done some control profiles, and it doesn't seem to affect. And I know there's a way in PlaneMaker that you can make the adjustment on how much nose wheel input you get on the ground based on your speed, but I don't want to break the plane by making an adjustment using possibly using a code that I don't know. I suppose I can always make a backup copy of it. Okay, yeah, there's the FBO, and we are going to head over this way. And go right over here. And shut it down. Okay. After landing, we have flaps up, tail flaps open, strobes going on. Let's get all of our lights off, beacon staying on. Once we activate the approach, it should go to the approach part regardless where you are on the flight plan. And that may be because I don't think I activated the approach in time. Or, I could have activated it earlier. Either way, okay. So we did alright getting the now zoo, we did good getting the bugs. And then right here is where it was taking us to Mansfield. Alright, we'll go ahead and talk about that once we're back in the FBO. Okay, beacons on, avionics going off. Make sure to lean, mags to off, and master to off. Parking brake on. Okay. Let's disconnect from the VATSIM network and head back to the oops. Well, nobody asked me to contact them, but Cleveland Center is now online. Okay, so right after bugs, the approach should be activated, which makes sense because that would have taken us directly to Percy, which is the first in our approach, if I remember right. Let's take a look at this plate again. Let's see. Do it like this. Approach. Send that to the map. Okay. So since oh, that's not the wrong one. Send that to the map. Okay, so since Percy was our initial approach fix, yeah, absolutely, it would have made the most sense to do. So thank you for pointing that out, because our final GPS fix was bugs. So if we would have activated the approach at bugs, it wouldn't have taken us directly to Mansfield. Um, it would have taken us to Percy, which is what we expected it to do. Excellent. Thank you for pointing that out, Wintech. Greatly appreciated. Tell you what, it's 8:46. We have time to head back home. Or, let's see. Putting it in heading mode before we activate the approach might be a good idea too. Okay. Sparky Pilot, your old CFI popped over to drop something off and had him fly X-Plane for a little bit. Well, I hope he had fun. I'm waiting on my CFI to come over. I guess that would make sense, Wintech, because then you're deactivating it from I'll call it GPS mode, and you're going more towards like a your heading mode, and then you're making a new connection, so that might make sense. All right, let's see if let's just do that real quick. Let's make the flight back home. We'll make it a round trip. So now we need to fly a new flight plan. We're just going to go direct this time, save a little bit of time. So let's just clear that, and we're going to go to Mansfield, back to 4 India Niner. Back for that. Cleveland Center, 119.875. We're going to need to know that. Well, that would make sense, Wintech, and thank you for pointing that out. Right, let's go ahead and get her started right back up. We're going to kind of expedite this startup here. We do have plenty of fuel to get back, don't worry about that. Master's on. Let's get our beacon on. Make sure to rich. Clear. Clear the left. Clear the right. Max to start. Alright, park and brake off. Avionics going on. Let's get our landing line on for safety. ADSB is tied into our nav lights. Let's get that back on. Fly away new flight plan. This time we're just going to be VFR. There is only a VOR Alpha approach into Morrow County, which while we can do, I just don't have time to do that this evening. Okay, we're type 206. Lightweight categories, light golf. Tell you what, I ought to refresh this page, because that's still my old flight plan. Would you like us to load this now? No, don't load that flight plan. New flight plan. (206). And we're going back to 4 India Niner. And off block 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1. Let's see. So we got 8, 10, 9, 10, 0, 1, 55. And again, 3000. Airspeed 120. Line en route time 30 minutes or so. And fuel endurance, we have probably about 2 hours and 15 minutes or so. We'll just say 2 hours. Still plenty of fuel. We're just going to be VFR direct this time. Okay, let's confirm everything is good there. Call sign, flight rules, aircraft type, all that looks good. Equipment is good. Route type, VFR direct. I'm going to file that flight plan. There we go. Okay. Let's just circle right around over here real quick. Okay. Cleveland Center was what? 119875. India Niner. Should be a heading of about 230-ish.
Cleveland Center, Sun Country 8255.
228.
Sun Country 8255, runway 23, taxi via Charlie.
228.
23 via Charlie, Sun Country 8255.
Okay, let's make sure that we don't have any sort of overlying approach controller on before we make our call. It piled up real quick within that last 45 minutes or so. 119875. Altimeter still good.
7. Arriving runway 32. Departing runway 32. Advise on initial contact you have. Information Zulu.
Zulu's current.
Mansfield Line Regional Information Zulu. 1915 Zulu Special. Wind calm. Visibility 9 miles. Sky clear. Temperature 2. Dew point -10. Altimeter 3007. Arriving runway 32. Departing runway 32. Advise on initial contact you have. Information Zulu.
007's our altimeter. Right, back home. We're going to be heading direct. Total flight time is maybe going to be 20 minutes or less. Cleveland Center, November 8033 Foxtrot.
Calling Cleveland Center is broken, say again.
November 8033 Foxtrot.
It's very hard to hear. I'm not sure if it's broken or overmodulating, but I got November 80 Foxtrot. Go ahead.
Cleveland Center, stand by. 8033 Foxtrot, please. Alright, what's going on with my microphone now with VATSIM? Audio check. Audio check. Audio. Audio check. Audio. Audio, hello. Audio. Testing, testing. Doesn't appear to be over-modulating on my end. We'll try it. Hello? Well, that looks good there. We'll check one.
Cleveland Center, Delta 1221's checking in, flight level 270.
We'll check one more spot.
Delta 1221, Cleveland Center, squawk 6221. 221 for Delta 1221.
Cleveland Center, Sun Country 8255, ready for departure.
Sun Country 8255, fly runway heading, runway 23, clear for takeoff, Saginaw wind 210, at 12, gust 20.
Runway 23, runway heading, clear for takeoff, Sun Country 8255.
Well, we'll try this.
Center, good evening. $1.22 on the route of Pittsburgh with uniform board requesting clearance to St. Louis.
$22 Cleveland Center, cleared to the St. Louis Lambert International Airport via the Pittsburgh 5 departure. Radar vectors Bill Me intersection and is filed. Maintain 5,000, expect flight level 300, 10 minutes after departure, squawk 2526.
To the St. Louis Lambert International Airport via the Pittsburgh 5 departure. Radio vectors Delany. Identify, climate 5,000, expect flight level 300, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk code 2526 for $22.
$22, runway 20 center for departure, call for taxi.
Center $22, we would like to amend our final flight level to 340 if possible.
Done. $22, expect flight level 340, 10 minutes after departure.
Expecting flight level 340, 10 after departure, $22.
Delta 1221, direct contact 20 east of Litchfield VOR, climb and maintain flight level 350.
Maintain 350 for Delta 1221.
Cleveland Center, November 8033 Foxtrot.
A little bit better there, it's at 8033 Foxtrot.
Roger, is that audio any better?
First time it was, but second time not so much.
There must be something on his end, because I haven't changed anything.
Cleveland Center, Delta 109, good evening. We're with you, flight level 250, headed to 370.
I've never gotten a complaint
left aircraft,
about
standby 1.
being over-modulated before.
989, Cleveland Center.
Sun Country 8255, passing 2,000.
Sun Country 8255, Cleveland Center, radar
Radio
contact,
test.
climb and maintain flight level 340, leaving 3000, clear direct Green Bay.
Testing.
I'm at flight level 340, leaving 3000, clear direct Green Bay, Sun Country 8255.
Testing. Testing.
Cleveland Center, Delta 5307 on the ground at Akron, Can. Like to get IFR to
Testing. Testing.
Delta 5307,
Testing.
Cleveland on request.
Testing.
Standby.
Testing. Testing. Testing.
Southwest 989, Cleveland.
Alright, we'll try that. See if that isn't better for him. I mean, I am using a Bose A20.
Is that Southwest 99 call?
Which is already a low impedance.
I got carry over, no voice.
Yeah, it's just Endeavor 4677 checking back in.
Endeavor 4677, okay, thank you.
Cleveland Center, November 8033 Foxtrot.
That's much better. 830, well, I forgot what you said, but 33 Foxtrot, go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good evening. We are on the ground at Mansfield with the numbers parked in front of the FBO, looking for a VFR departure directed to 4 Indian Niner, and we'd like a flight following if able.
Help me out, where's 4 India Niner?
Morrow County Airport, Mount Gilead, Ohio, maybe about 10 miles southeast of the Bud VOR.
Southeast of which VOR?
The Buckeye VOR.
Very good. Okay, number 8033 Foxtrot. Well, hang on, squawk disappeared. 8033 Foxtrot, squawk 5752. The Mansfield altimeter 3009er. I got no active runway there, so let me know what you want when you're ready for taxi.
Squawk 5752, and we'll go ahead and take runway 32 due to the winds. And we are ready to taxi.
8033 Foxtrot, runway 32, taxi via Alpha. And I have the wind column up here.
Runway 32 via Alpha. Yeah, must have just changed. Winds are now showing calm, but we'll go ahead and take runway 32. Thank you.
The 5307 clear the the Atlanta Hartsfield Airport via radar vectors Newcomerstown, Parkersburg, Charleston, Hillary, Andre 1. Maintain 5,000. Expect level 380, 10 minutes after departure. Squawk 7446.
Alright, we're runway 32 via Alpha.
I didn't catch the beginning and the very end of that clearance.
5307 clear to Atlanta. Parkersburg VOR, Juliet Papa uniform, that is filed. Maintain 5,000, expect flight level 380, 10 minutes after departure, squawk 7446.
We're cleared to Atlanta via the Newcomers VOR, Parkersburg, then is filed. We'll climb 5,000 and expect 380, 10 minutes after departure, and squawk 7446 for Delta 5307.
5307 deck is correct. Akron Canton wind is calm. About 23 for departure, call for taxi.
Alright, we'll expect 23 and call for taxi.
Alright, this is something else I just learned today while I was here. Like,
Delta 109er Cleveland.
I knew that I know this line is an ILS critical hold area.
Delta 109 Cleveland Center, squawk 3215. Are you the one I told to stand by just a few minutes ago?
But today I learned what it was actually for. Yeah, if we're sitting here, it's quite possible that if a very large aircraft could be obscuring the ILS signal.
Center at Pittsburgh, taxi via Echo, cross runway 14.
Yeah, Echo, cross runway 14, knowledge 12.
Second Country 8255, leave Airspace, Minneapolis, offline. ATC services are terminated, frequency change approved.
Frequency change approved, Second Country 8255, have a good night.
Cleveland Center, November 8033 Foxtrot, holding short runway 32.
Delta 109, radar contact 20 south of Carlton, climb and maintain flight level 370.
We're going to climb and maintain flight level 370, Delta 109.
8033 Foxtrot, wind calm, runway 32, clear for takeoff and immediate departure, on course approved.
Clear for takeoff, runway 32, on course approved, November 33 Foxtrot.
2382, any chance you're back?
Yeah, here's this hilly runway. Up and down. Here we go, full power.
Delta 1554.
Yeah, there's that weird rudder thing.
Delta 1554, roger.
Alright, let's get off the ground. Alright, we're airborne. That was squirrely.
American, it's going to 82 is back.
American 2382, Cleveland Center, descend maintain, flight level 330.
Apollo 330, American
Alright,
2382.
you're totally on course approved, so I can go ahead and turn on course. I don't, you don't necessarily have to be a specific altitude per se. I mean, don't do it as soon as you take off the runway, but go ahead and give yourself
Buffalo, Bravo,
500 feet or so, I would imagine.
3010, Cleveland, Charlie, no significant changes, 3009er, Detroit, Hotel. Ceiling now 2000, overcast, altimeter 3009er, Pittsburgh, Victor, wind calm, visibility 10, skies clear, temperature 3, dew point -7, altimeter 3008, no significant changes. Rate 0335 Foxtrot, Cleveland Center, radar contact, maintain VFR. And what altitude do you plan on cruising?
We're local. We're going to cruise 3,000 feet, maintain VFR, November 8033 Foxtrot.
Gotcha. American 2382, contact New York Center, 125.32.
Center 125.32, American 2382, have a good night.
Endeavor 4677, Cleveland Center.
Okay, about 14 miles left. 14 minutes, I should say. Yeah, that's the first time I've ever had an audio complaint on VATSIM. I'm not sure why or what happened this evening. I haven't adjusted anything.
Endeavor 4677, radar contact lost.
Yeah, and our radar contact just got lost too because of all these clouds.
Delta 3001, cross Brandon and maintain flight level 270.
Tell you what, we're gonna drop down maybe 2,500 feet a little bit. Just gonna get us out of a little bit of this haze.
Dollar 22, runway 28 center, clear for takeoff, fly, runway heading, Pittsburgh wind, calm.
Takeoff runway 28 center, fly runway heading, I'll talk to you.
Delta 1554, contact Boston Center, 134.7. 134.7, have a great rest of your weekend, Delta 1554.
So, our home airport is just south of the Mason-Dixie line. No, I'm just kidding. But it is the line that separates the Cleveland ARTCC from the Indianapolis ARTCC. So at some point he is going to hand us over to Indy Center. Well, he may not. He may not, because he'll probably release us, you know, when we're within 10 miles.
4677, how do you read?
If he does that.
Endeavor 4677, Cleveland, I hear you.
Yeah, my apologies there. Looks like we had a network error. Would it be possible to also get a cruise altitude event?
Endeavor 4677, Cleveland, your radar contact, 20 north of Newcomerstown. Maintain flight level 330 for now. Traffic, 6 o'clock, 10 miles, closing up fast.
Roger, we'll maintain flight level 330 for Endeavor 4677, and we'll look out for the traffic to our 6.
It looks like you lost the entire tailwind component.
Indeed. Center Dallas 22 airborne, passing 2400.
22 Cleveland Center, radar contact, climb and maintain 14,000, 14,000.
14,000 miles, 12.
Okay, situational awareness.
Center, Dallas,
Oil temperature, oil pressure is still in the green. We've still got plenty of fuel. Suction's good. Manifold pressure and fuel flow is good.
Delta 5307.
Nothing on the annunciator panel.
Taxi via Echo.
Taxi via Echo, runway 23, Delta 5307.
Delta 1221, traffic 12 o'clock, 10 miles, southeastbound, flight level 330. Endeavor RJ, going 200 knots slower than you. Delta 1221, we'll keep an eye out.
Body of water coming up on the right
$22 clear
is Candlewood Lake. It's just a local landmark.
Endeavor 4677, clear.
Center Delta 5307, hold short 23, ready to go.
Delta 5307, flight runway heading runway 23, clear for takeoff for the KMNN call.
Runway heading, clear to take off runway 23, Delta 5307.
Alright, where are we at? No, he's not gonna release, he hasn't released us yet. Yeah, let's go ahead and cancel it. Probably because, yeah. Cleveland Center, November 8033 Foxtrot, we are 7 miles from home. Please go ahead and cancel our VFR plane following.
8033 Foxtrot, roger, your radio services terminated, squawk VFR, frequency change approved, no traffic observed between you and the airport.
OD Unicom, thank you for your service. Have a good evening, November 8033 Foxtrot. Candlewood Lake is like a private gated community around here. But we use the lake as a landmark. Alright, we're about 5 miles from home. I do want to thank everyone for coming in and hanging out this evening. We got to do a little bit of practice with our JNS 430. Ideally, we would have had some coverage in there, so next time we practice, we're going to make sure we have some overlying ATC coverage. Just because I feel like that kind of enhances the overall experience of IFR. Moore County traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, about 5 miles northeast of the field. We're crossing over midfield to join left downwind runway 28, full stop, Moore County. Alright, do you have the airport in sight? So the runway at Morrow County is, I mean, it's a decent size, but it's not long, like a lot of your larger airports. So when I say crossing over midfield, I kind of like to more so cross over the 1-0 threshold. That gives me a decent amount of time to kind of get myself established on a good downwind. So let's go ahead and get down there to pattern altitude. Make sure prop's going high, power's coming back. Because we want to be at pattern altitude before we get into the pattern. Okay. That's pretty square, I think. Morrow County traffic, 8033 Foxtrot, crossing over midfield, join the left downwind, 28 full stop, Morrow County. State Route 42. If I want to keep my patterns tight, I'll use that road as my downwind. And if I want to widen them up a little bit, there's another road that parallels it, but I'll kind of split the difference. We are beam the numbers. Showtime. Power back. Okay, give me flaps 10. Let's trim for this descent. Alright, my left wing looks clear. Moore County traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot is turning left base 28 full stop, Moore County. The other nice thing about ortho photos is that you can actually see your real life landmarks. Like I know that I make my base at that pond and, you know, things of that sort. Flaps 2. My left wing's clear. Morrow County traffic, November 8033 Foxtrot, left base to final approach 28 full stop, Morrow County. Winds are calm, so I'm not really going to have to do much of a slip to get it down in there, or wind correction. Kind of have an issue with coming in high sometimes, so slips are kind of my friend. Alright, I'm going to shift my transition my sight to the end of the runway and try not to land the plane. Okay, we'll roll on down to the end here. And we'll go put her away. Alright, let's clean up our aircraft. We are across the line. Okay, flaps up. Let's get our strobes off. Let's reset trim for takeoff. Right about there. Okay, no carb heat in here. Alright, I think we're good. Alright. After landing, okay. Cow flaps open. Strobes, that's all that stuff's off. Transponders, okay. Alright, avionics going off. Mixture lean. Mags off. Master off. And our lights going off. Parking brake set. I gotta go and get the pusher thing. Okay. And the thing that you clip onto the front of the wheel. I know there's a word for it. But for now, let's head back into the hangar here. Discuss real quick about our flight and say goodnight. Let me disconnect from VATSIM. Here we are. See you soon.
Alright, well, I do want to thank everyone first and foremost for coming in for our local practice flight today. Essentially, we flew the same route that we flew in the real world earlier today, only this time we were IFR on the way out. We wanted to get a little bit familiar with our GNS 430 and a little bit familiar with RNAV approaches. Now that one, on that one, that the navigator took us all the way down. But if we were hand flying that approach, that's not what I want. If we were hand flying that approach, we would have grabbed Percy at or above 3,000. We would not have needed to make that procedure turn. And then on a heading of 323, would have been at or above 2,700 at Okopo. But technically, since it is an RNAV approach, I don't think legally we're able to hand fly that. I think that the navigator has to do that one. Okay, so talked about that. I don't think there was really much else to discuss other than, as always, it's my pleasure flying with you. Jeffrey Beckers came in with a 6-month subscription, so thank you so much for that. I do want to say thank you to V1 Rotate 1 who came in with a follow while we were offline this morning, so thank you for that as well. Off tomorrow, Monday, not sure what we're going to get into, but we'll get into something. Until our next regularly unscheduled flight, I hope you all take care and stay safe and just be safe until our next adventure. Let's see what we can send you over to. I forgot my phone in the plane. So let's see who's flying. The Virtual USA Flying Club was having a flight this evening, an event this evening, which actually started at 9 o'clock. That was going to put us way late, so we weren't going to do that one. So I'm going to send you over to Eric Flight, who's actually hosting the event this evening for the Virtual USA Flying Club. So I'll send you over there to finish out your evening. As always, it's been my pleasure flying with you. And we will see you on our next one. Have a great night.